Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, beloved Muslim brothers and sisters. On this vast earth, there are cities that are not only great in history, but have been directly mentioned by Allah in the Qur'an. These are not ordinary places. They are cities that witnessed the struggles of prophets, became the sites of divine revelation, and served as the centers of Islamic dawah. What are these sacred cities? And why did Allah immortalize them in His book? Let's begin. One, Mecca, the center of worship for Muslims. Let us begin with the city that is the very starting point of our Qibla, the first direction of our prayers. This sacred city is mentioned in the Qur'an as the first house of worship ever built for mankind.
إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين.
Indeed, the first house of worship established for mankind was that at Baqa, blessed and a guidance for the worlds. Surah Al-Imran, verse 96. Baqa is another name for Mecca, and this verse affirms that the Kaaba in Mecca is the oldest place of worship on earth. Before there were churches, temples, or synagogues, the Kaaba already stood as the central house of monotheism. In this city, Prophet Abraham, and his son Ishmael, with full submission to Allah, built the Kaaba. They didn't build towering monuments or lavish cities. They laid the foundation of worship, a place that would become the direction of prostration for billions of believers throughout time. Allah chose Mecca as the place to test the faith of a father and his son. Ismail was left there by Ibrahim under Allah's command. No water, no vegetation. But from that very place the water of Zamzam sprang forth, and the city grew to become the spiritual heart of Islam. It didn't stop there. Centuries later, in the same land, the Prophet Muhammad was born, the final messenger, a mercy for all creation. The first revelation, Iqra, was sent down in the cave of Hira, located in Mecca. But dear Muslim brothers and sisters, let us not imagine that Mecca was always peaceful. It was in this very city that Islam was first rejected. The Prophet was insulted, hurt, even threatened with death. Yet he remained patient, continued his da'wah, until he finally returned and conquered the city in peace and honor. It is no exaggeration that Allah mentions this city repeatedly in the Qur'an. Mecca is the beginning of the message, the location of the Qibla, the battleground of prophets, and the spiritual home we all return to in worship. Every step in this city is not just a piece of history. It is the footprint of revelation and sacrifice. 2. Medina, Yathrib, the city of Hijrah and light. Dear Muslim brothers and sisters, after Mecca, the second most honored city in Islamic history is Medina, which is referred to in the Qur'an by its original name, Yathrib. Allah says, "O people of Yathrib, there is no place for you here, so return." Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 13. The name Yathrib is recorded in the Qur'an as the city's old name. However, after the Prophet Muhammad migrated, Hijrah, to it, the city was no longer called by that name. It became known as Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara, the Radiant City. Why is it called radiant? Because it was in this city that the light of Islam spread freely after years of rejection and persecution in Mecca. Here, the Prophet Muhammad established the first Islamic society built on the foundations of faith, character, and justice. Medina was not merely a stopover. It became the base of Islamic dawah. It was here that the Prophet Muhammad established the constitution of Medina, the first written constitution in world history that guaranteed the rights of all its citizens, Muslim and non-Muslim alike, to live together in peace and fairness. The Prophet's mosque, Masjid Nabawi, originally built with the hands of his companions, became the spiritual center of the Ummah. Not just a place for prayer, but a hub of knowledge, civilization, and da'wah strategy. It was in this city, too, that many great battles in Islamic history took place. The battles of Badr, Uhud, and Khandaq are all a part of Medina's legacy. This city witnessed how Islam was tested, not just through words, but with blood, sacrifice, and steadfastness. And dear brothers and sisters, it is in this sacred city that the Prophet Muhammad is buried, beneath the green dome, which is now one of the most beloved and honored places on earth. Medina is not only the place of physical migration, hijrah. It is the place where the Ummah migrated from fear to strength, from oppression to freedom, from darkness to light. No wonder this city is beloved and honored by Allah and His Messenger, and it remains the second holiest city in Islam, always longed for by the hearts of the believers. 3. Egypt, Misr, the land of the prophets. Dear Muslim brothers and sisters, the third sacred land mentioned in the Qur'an is Egypt, or in Arabic, Misr. In Surah Yusuf, Allah says, "And the Egyptian who bought him said to his wife, 'Make his stay comfortable.'" Surah Yusuf, verse 21. Egypt is not just an ancient land of pyramids and pharaohs. It is a vital part of the history of prophethood, the home and battleground of two great prophets, Prophet Yusuf, Joseph, and Prophet Musa, Moses, peace be upon them. Prophet Yusuf, alayhi salam, was sold as a slave and raised in the palace of Egypt. But it was in this foreign land that Allah elevated him, from a servant to the economic ruler of Egypt. Through Yusuf, Allah showed us that whoever remains pious, Allah will raise them above every trial. And hundreds of years later, in that very same land, there rose a tyrannical ruler known as Pharaoh, Firaun. His confrontation with Prophet Musa, alayhi salam, became one of the most powerful and dramatic stories in the Qur'an, a tale of arrogance, power, and how Allah's punishment eventually destroyed those who reject the truth. Egypt is mentioned repeatedly in the Qur'an because from this land we learn profound lessons about patience through hardship, about faith that stands firm against oppression, and about the downfall of those intoxicated by their own power. Today, Egypt still stands as one of the centers of Islamic knowledge. It is the home of Al-Azhar, one of the oldest and most respected Islamic universities in the world. But the deeper message of Egypt in the Qur'an reminds us of one thing, that status and power are never guarantees of salvation. Only faith and submission to the truth can save us. 4. Al-Qura, the mother of all cities. In the Qur'an, Mecca is not only referred to as Makkah or Baka. Allah also gives it a noble title, that you may warn the mother of cities and those around it. Surah Al-An'am, verse 92. Al-Qura, meaning the mother of all cities. This is not just a city. It is the origin, the root, the axis of the earth in the worldview of Tawheed. Allah chose Mecca as the center of the first revelation, as the birthplace of the final prophet, and as the location of the first house of worship ever built for mankind. So when the Qur'an calls it Al-Qura, it is not just a compliment, it is a divine warning and reminder. Mecca is the heart of Islamic da'wah, not because of its wealth or power, but because of the purity of faith and the firmness of struggle that emerged from it. From this city, the message of Islam spread across the world. From Al-Qura, divine commands were established, the Sharia was revealed, and the Ummah was awakened. It is no coincidence that Allah began His warning from this very city and made it the center of worship until the end of time. Mecca is called al-Qura, not just because of its age, but because it is the womb of Islamic civilization, the compass of human guidance. Dear Muslim brothers and sisters, these 4 cities are not just names on a map. They are a part of divine revelation. They are where history was written, where faith was tested, and where revelation was sent down. And if Allah Himself mentions them in the Qur'an, then surely there are great lessons hidden within them. Have we truly reflected on their meaning? Have we taken wisdom from their stories? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. See you in the next video, Insha'Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I conclude, please allow me to sincerely apologize if in this presentation there were any words that were inappropriate or unintentional mistakes. As a human, I am certainly not free from errors. May Allah forgive all my shortcomings and mistakes, and I hope that you all can forgive me as well. My hope is that what has been conveyed today can become beneficial knowledge and bring us closer to His pleasure. Thank you for your attention and patience.